Hello guys, JP Mitchell here back today from the video. So I want to talk about Souk Options Association for Community Living, aka SOCLA, and why SOCLA was very keen in my recovery from autism. Let's do this, guys. Let's start with the before footage. So the before footage was me just trapped in my autistic world, couldn't relate to people, couldn't have a conversation with anybody. I couldn't sit at a restaurant table. I would just run around in circles. I would kick, bite, yell, scream, temper tantrum, freak out if a car drove past me, or if someone made a noise. Well, we did all this therapy in the beginning until we met SOCLA. We met Souk Options for Community Living Association for Community Living, which was SOCLA. And SOCLA was very keen in my recovery from autism, and let me explain why. So SOCLA taught me things that my parents, Mitch and Peggy, tried to teach me, like sitting at a table, learning manners. I was able to build these friendships, these bonds with these animals, with kids, and teaching the kids at SOCLA to not to. That was one of the things, guys, is that I remember a long time ago when I was in SOCLA and we were on this bus and I was sitting right next to a stranger that I didn't know like hardly at all. But he was a nice, friendly guy. And then Dylan, one of the younger kids, asks this stranger with the pizza for his phone number. And if I can, if I can have a piece of your pizza. And that's when I spoke up and said, Dylan, don't talk to strangers. And he said, but I want pizza. And I'm like, I know, but you don't talk to strangers. These are people that you don't know. So I love how I go from this little autistic child to a protector of the kids at SOCLA, where I'm willing to do anything to protect kids from stranger danger. Where if a stranger approaches you, these are people that you don't know. So not only did I teach and train the kids about stranger danger, but I taught them just to watch what you say, make sure to stay close with the group, don't wander off, and just don't talk to strangers, because these are people that you don't know. And if they offer you candy, like, hey kid, get in my car, I got some candy for you. What I taught the kids was that when a stranger approaches you, you run away. So I love everything about SOCLA. I loved how SOCLA was very keen in my recovery, of how they taught me how to sit properly at a table, how to use manners, how to build these bonds with animals and kids and all that stuff. And I did fun therapy with the kids, where I would play with them, read to them, interact with them, socialize with them. This was normal behavior that I was showing and doing with the kids. This was not autistic behavior. This was normal behavior. And so that showed that I was coming back into the world of normality, that I was almost there, I was almost done. And by the end of grade 12, once I finished graduation and went off to prom, and not only did I finish graduation, but this was a clear sign that I was recovered, because I would sit in the audience, well, not in the audience, but I would sit with all my friends patiently. I would wait for my turn, and then when it was my turn, I walked on the stage, with my shoulders held high, smiling, proud, and all that stuff. And I took all the tools that the therapist had taught me to have, normal behavior, getting me to recovery, and I took all the tools that Sokla taught me on how to sit normally at a table, to show manners, to build friendships, to build peer relationships, to get out there into the world, and really to take the tools that I've learned from Sokla to the world, to show the other parents that hey, look what Sokla has done for me. Look what they can do for your child as well. They can teach your child manners, empathy, how to build friendships, how to build peer relationships, how to look both ways before crossing the street like they have taught me. They will teach you how to buy your own groceries, how to buy your own food and what your ice cream costs and what your food costs, like Sokla taught me, because Sokla took me to the ice cream shop and all that stuff, and they got me ice cream and they taught me how much ice cream costs, how much my food costs, and all that stuff. So I wouldn't be where I am today if not for Sokla teaching me all those skills and helping me with my anger management skills and all that stuff. So I'm very grateful to Sokla and grateful to the therapist and grateful to Mitch and Peggy for being very keen in my recovery. So that's pretty much my story, guys. So I love how I go from this little child where I had like no language at all. I had no communication, no listening skills, no life skills, no kids play, no social interactions. And one of the things that happened with my recovery was my IQ. Like my IQ score would go up and up and up, right? Like it wouldn't go down, down, down. It would go up and up and up. So everything about my journey that I love, and yes, I know that I am recovered and all that stuff, but I still get kind of a little scared whenever I go out into public if a stranger talks to me or if a stranger comes up to the house and starts knocking on the door. I am scared of strangers, but I'm not really afraid anymore to talk to other people because back then when I had autism, you wouldn't see me talking to anybody. Like you wouldn't see me talking to nobody. Like you wouldn't see me looking at a person or talking to them or saying, "Oh, hello, miss, hello, sir, how you guys doing tonight?" Like you wouldn't see me doing any of that. So what Sokla did was that they taught me how to talk to people. They taught me how to how to not be afraid of talking to a stranger, like how to interact, how to socialize, how to communicate, how to function normally, how to build friendships, peer relationships with animals, with kids. These were all things that I probably never would have done when I was autistic because I didn't have those skills. I didn't have that knowledge. And I didn't have a voice to stand up for to stand up to bullied victims. Like if it was a kid, I would say, "Hey man, you leave that kid alone," right? Well, when I was autistic, I didn't have that much in the way of in the courage and the knowledge to stand up for other people. Well, now I do because now I stand up for more people. If I see someone being bullied in front of me, picked on, teased, taunted, whatever, I will walk up to that person and I will say, "Hey, stop it, knock it off." And one of the most remarkable things that I've ever done, and this is one of the best things I've ever did, was that when I saw Peyton being bullied, I got up, walked out with my fists at my side, and I walked up to that bully and I said, "Hey, leave my friend Peyton alone." And the bully, rather than fighting me, what she does is that she stands there. She looks at me and I look at her, and we kind of gave eye contact with each other. And after it was all done, she walked away. And then I took a step back so she couldn't come back and punch me in the face. And Peyton walked up to me and gave me a hug. And I just wrapped Peyton in my arms and I just hugged him. And Peyton said, "Thank you, JP." And I was like, "Oh, you're welcome, Peyton. Anytime, buddy." Yeah, I don't like bullies, man. That's why I stand up to them because Edward Milne Community School is a no bullying free zone. And the next day, Peyton asked me, "Why did you stand up for me yesterday?" And I told him, "Because I care about you, Peyton, and I don't like seeing you being bullied because it's not right, it's not nice. And if you need anything, you know, love, hug, support, whatever, I'm here for you, man. I got your back." I'm not going to let any bullies touch you or hurt you again. And that was a clear sign that I was developing friendships with other students at school as well too. So it wasn't just Sokla that I was building bonds and relationships with, it was also in school too. And I also did reading with the kids twice, once at Sokla and once at Puye Elementary School. And I felt like, this is great. This was something that I never would have done when I was autistic when I was little. So all this therapy leads up to my recovery, but it was all combined into one large therapy that was done in one particular sitting, one foul swoop, right? So that was cool. That was good. And my story with autism recovery is so keen to help in so many parents who have kids with autism. But by coming forward, I hope to inspire parents with autistic children, and give them hope. My hope is that every parent will seek out a treatment evaluation and become aware of its benefits, and seek out a treatment that may help your child recover from autism, as I have. So I want to be an advocate for these parents. I want to show these parents that when you first start with the therapy and the treatment, you have to not be scared and you have to not be afraid. You have to get over the blaming of yourself of why this happened to me, and that there's no end to this, right? Well, the earlier you start, the better your child's chances at your child may be possibly recovering from autism. Your child may recover. I'm not saying they will, but they might. Based on how early the treatment is, how early the therapy is, how early the diagnosis is, because that's very critical, that's key. And that's it. So here's my YouTube account at John Patrick. Go on there. I'll welcome your comments. I'll welcome your messages. Go on my Gmail account at jakemitchell@autismrecovery.com. I will welcome your messages. I will welcome your comments. Any questions that you parents send to me, I will welcome them. I will answer them, and I will reply to them. And I will answer your questions and comments that you have for me in my recovery and all that good stuff. So let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.